Snails. Making snails. Really excited about this. We're having escargot. I'm excited for two reasons. One, I understand escargot is delicious, and I've never had it. And two, we actually have to cook something. And that's definitely a first for us. And, worst comes to worst and we fuck it up, I'll just peel some gum off the bottom of my shoe and I'll eat that to entertain you people. We don't have any shells. Typically escargot is cooked in shell, but we do have this lovely escargot, I wouldn't call it a pan, what would you call it?
I don't know.
With dish. Little bits for each
escargot dish.
Baking dish. We have a couple of things that are going to go into this. We have the makings of a parsley butter sauce. Right over here we have some garlic, some parsley, some parmesan. It's going to go all up in the butter, and apparently you just take these snails and you pack them in there with that butter sauce, and then you bake it for a bit. And we're going to do that. The first instruction is to clean the snails in boiling water. So we got to open it first. Find out what's going on. Oh, look at that. They look like little mushrooms. So we're going to drain it.
Oh, they smell really bad.
These are totally snails. I was thinking it would just be like, snail. No, these are... Oh, God, look at that. That's what's inside that shell. Here's the little snail insides.
They look like vaginas.
Smell so bad. What is that? What is that? Are those snail tentacles? I don't know anything about snail physiology, by the way, so I'm a little concerned. Alright, so we're going to clean these in the boiling water. We're going to put them all into bake. When we come back, we will have escargot. It smells like durian. We're back a little early, because we didn't want you to miss the selection process. Because we only have enough room in this here dish for 6 snails. And we got to pick the best and the brightest out of this vagina-y looking bunch. So, small ones are out, clearly. I mean, I don't want to mess around with that. So we got, this one seems like a pretty nice big one. It's got some nice, I don't know, positive aspects you look for in a snail.
Which one looks most like a labia?
They're all uniformly horrible looking. They all look like mushrooms topped with lady parts. I realize we should probably get away from the whole vagina comparison, but I mean, look at that. So, what we're doing now is we're packing these mamma jammas into this here dish. And as in my understanding, the only thing to do is just put as much of this butter sauce as we can fit onto it. I'm not sure who decided to eat these snails in the first place. Like, I don't know where the idea came from of, hey, here's a gross thing in a shell, let's cook it up and eat it. But whoever did was much, much braver than I am. Because this does not look very good. And yes, I'm using my fingers, and no, I didn't wash my hands, but I'm going to eat it anyways. So, oh, jeez. This, between the butter and the, I'm torn because...
That's going to get all over the bottom
we're
of our oven.
We're going to put a tray underneath it, Mal, don't you worry none. I might be a little drunk, but I'm thinking pretty clearly right now. This whole episode, by the way, I have decided is a tribute to My Drunk Kitchen. Another YouTube show which is much more popular than ours, and in my opinion, a good deal funnier. So if you get a chance, check it out. Not that, you know, she's wanting for followers or anything, but, you know, well, every little bit helps. So here we have it. This, apparently, at some point, is going to be food. And who am I to say it's not? So we're going to chuck this in the oven, 400 degrees, until the butter is nice and bubbly. I am not excited, but we're going to see what's up. We'll be back. So our snails are done cooking, and to be perfectly frank, not to toot my own horn, they look lovely. Having said that, I am petrified. Because no matter how good this looks with the garlic and the parsley and the butter and the Parmesan and all that good stuff, I know that underneath this tasty layer is a snail. And I keep picturing in my head what it looked like when we were taking it out of that can. I am not excited.
Oh, it's juicy.
It made a sucking noise when I pulled it out of this little thing. Okay, they look very much the same as they did before we started cooking them. Apparently when they're in cans they're already pre-cooked and the only thing to do is warm them up, which we have with some butter and some parsley and so on and so forth. And now the only hurdle is putting it in our faces. I'm wondering, just to give you an idea of what's going on up here, sometimes when you eat certain shellfish, there are crunchy bits. Obviously this is just a shell, it's not a shellfish. I don't even know what kind of species is a snail?
Mollusk?
Is it they don't live in the ocean or anything.
There are some snails that live in the ocean.
Sea snails, sure. This ain't no sea snail.
But it's still a snail.
I don't know. The whole snail thing, it doesn't seem like they should be around anymore. It seems like evolutionarily they should have moved on past thing that moves 2 centimeters an hour and also is really slimy. Doesn't seem really beneficial to the species. So I don't think they should be around anymore. So what better than to eat it to do the world a favor and get rid of one more snail? All right, enough pulling pud here. I'm gonna eat it. I swear to God, I am. Okay. Texturally, a bit like a calamari. Definitely some of those little crunchy bits that you get when you're eating calamari. Or like mussels. That's the thing too. It kind of feels sandy in your mouth. They are not disgusting. I don't know how much of that to attribute to the butter sauce and parsley, but they are also quite disgusting because there's little bits hanging off of it and it just looks so bad. But definitely a grainy texture. I'm quite proud of us. I feel like we prepared this snail in a way that both celebrates and accentuates its snailiness. It smells marvelous. It really does. I mean, parsley, garlic, butter, what's not to like? And even the snail bit, like the bit that we smelled at the very beginning when we boiled that and we cleaned it off the snail, it really wasn't that bad afterwards. But I'm not sure. I'm like right on the fence with this snail thing. It tastes earthy, but not overwhelmingly. And it's definitely chewy. It's very chewy.
Is it fishy at all?
No, there's no oceanic taste to it. But it tastes a bit, honestly it tastes a bit like beef. Like really like mild beefy kind of taste. I don't know if you'll understand what I mean, but like a raw steak or like a rare steak. That kind of metally taste sort of fills your mouth. It definitely has a bit of that to it. I expected a good deal more saltiness. I don't know why. I mean, I guess these snails are sea snails, and that makes them a little more acceptable. But mostly, to me, right now, these snails are just a way to get this sauce into my mouth. Because I really like what we did here. But on the whole, escargot, sometimes when very rich people eat things, it's just because they can afford it. And other times it's because they want you to truly, honestly believe that they like it a lot. And escargot strikes me as one of the latter. It's not bad, but there are much better things to eat than this. So, Mal really innocuously asked what the nutritional information is on this because she's that kind of person. She wants to know the facts. And I'm looking it over, and, you know, it's pretty standard stuff. 50 calories per 6 snails or whatever. Cholesterol, 45%, kind of a big thing. But the messed up thing is the ingredients on this is just snails and water. And go back to the beginning of the video if you have to, but when we drained these, there was this syrupy brown horribleness that came out of the can. And just the idea that that was all just from the snails is really upsetting. And I'm sorry if I ruined anybody's day, but, oh God, so gross. I just felt the need to tell you that. Let me eat another one.